are live. It is Wednesday, which means that's time for another live Q&A all about eBay and Amazon dropshipping. I'm your host, as usual, Paul J. Lipsky from dropshippingtitans.com. This video is a little bit different than my normal videos. So what I do during these live Q&As is I sit down, I put up on the screen any questions you guys asked in the comment section of any of my videos, and I answer them all during this hour, all the questions from this past week. But hey, if you're here live, that's even better, because on the side of the screen, you can ask your question inside the live chat, and I'll pop that up on the screen just like I did here for Lazy Abram and answer that question. Now, the big topic this week, which is right before Black Friday 2019, is we are talking about not only Black Friday, but also eBay has made some changes to the wording of their item location policy. I made a video about that last week, and I'll give you guys a little bit of an update this week, but kind of spoiler, I don't have too much to talk about. If you're wondering where I am, different background, I'm visiting family in Colorado. So I'm in this kind of basement, just filming this video right now. I'm on the road, but I'm always trying to be here for you guys to give you guys content and to answer all your questions, as much of them as I can. So let's first address this item location change that eBay has made. This has happened in the last couple weeks. A little bit confusing what they're doing. So when you log into your eBay account, you might see when you go to your active listings that it says this, that your listings are missing the item location zip code. And this is because eBay has now stated that they are requiring a zip code for all your items, where those items are located. I talked all about that in the last video. And you can also see it when you go to list an item. It asks you for the zip code as well. Now, the confusing thing here is that we're not really sure what to do in our situation because we're drop shippers, and our items are located in multiple different warehouses. So you might, if you're selling this water bottle, you might be drop shipping it, let's say, from Walmart. Walmart might have a bunch of them in California warehouse, and they might have a bunch of them in the New York warehouse. Depending on where the shipping address is, they're going to ship it out from the closer warehouse, and that makes sense. So we can't just put in one zip code here because it's going to ship out from whichever warehouse is closer. So what do we put in here? Now, in the past, we put something that said multiple locations because that was accurate, and eBay allowed that. And now they're saying they want a specific zip code. But they haven't really told us exactly what happens if we don't enter a zip code or if we enter in a wrong zip code. So, I mean, when you look at this, all it says is adding a zip code improves search visibility and increases sales. But it doesn't necessarily say here that you're going to be penalized for not entering a zip code. In addition, here it says the same thing, improve search visibility and increase sales. But it doesn't necessarily say you're going to be penalized for it. And I'm sorry I'm not prepared with better screenshots, but inside eBay, you can also look at whether you have any policy violations. It will let you know whether you're violating any policies. And even though some of my accounts don't have zip codes for some of the items, it doesn't say that I have a policy violation, which is kind of interesting. So if they require a zip code, then, and I don't have them for all my listings, then you'd think I would be in violation of policies, but I'm not. Now, what I did was, as I stated in the last video, I did add zip codes to all my listings. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to impact my account, but what I have heard is some people who don't have zip codes entered right now, some people, their accounts, their sales have dropped down. So my suggestion at this point is to enter a zip code for your items because that's kind of the pattern we're seeing. It's still a little too early, so kind of take that with a grain of salt. With all these things in eBay, it does take time to kind of find out what eBay's trying to do or why they're trying to do it. But so far, we haven't seen any negative repercussions of this. So we're just keep going forward with what we're doing. Now, the update I wanted to give you guys was this. So let me close this out for a second because eBay, when this first started, eBay said that there's a quick way to add your zip code to all your listings. And I showed that in the last video. but they just changed the wording there again. So in what it used to say last week was that if you don't have just one location where your items ship out from, don't enter it on this screen because this screen will make it apply to all your listings. Instead, enter the zip code for each of your listings individually. And some people are a little bit confused on that language, but that's what it meant. Now it says this. It says, if you have inventory in more than one item location, you can choose the most appropriate zip code or add it to your listings individually. And I'm scratching my head, guys. I really have been thinking about this for the past 24 hours, trying to figure out what the heck that means. If you have inventory in more than one item location, okay, so that's us. We have inventory in multiple warehouses throughout the United States. It then says you can choose the most appropriate zip code. What does that mean? What does the most appropriate zip code mean? What does that mean? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. I'm baffled by it. It doesn't make sense because they say they require a zip code. They say they want it to be accurate where the item's actually shipping out from. But in this case, it kind of sounds like you can just choose one zip code and that's it. So I'm totally baffled. I don't think eBay knows what they're doing or why they're doing it. I've called reps. A lot of my students have called reps. We're all talking about it, comparing notes, and there's really not much of a pattern going on. Some reps just say, well, actually all the reps we've spoken to say, just enter an item location that to the best of your ability and you'll be fine. As long as you have a specific zip code, you'll be fine. And we're like, okay, I mean, that kind of doesn't make sense, but that's what eBay is telling us to do. So that's what we're doing right now. Again, that's what I'm recommending to do. Kind of take that with a grain of salt again, because I don't know what eBay plans to do in the future, but right now that seems to be working for our account. So that's what we're doing. So sorry I don't have more information, but eBay is not being very transparent about things. And I want to be honest with you guys about that. But I am here to try to find out as much as I can for you guys and to keep you guys updated as much as possible. So let's use here in the live chat. We have Prakash, thanks for being here first. It's a beautiful photo there. Lazy Abrams back, thanks for being here. Fat Elvis Goods, happy Wednesday. We have Paulo Ramos saying third. We have Martin, what's up Martin? Let's see. Debnath, hope I'm saying your name correctly. Let's see. Does quantity of items create more sales? So I'll give some more shout outs in a second, but Chris has a really good question here. So when you're selling on eBay or selling on Amazon, you can choose what your quantity is. Now, obviously, if your supplier is out of the item, they're out of stock, then your quantity should be 0. But you can also default it to 1, to 2, to 3, to as many as you want, really. So the question is what quantity to put it at. Now, mostly I leave our items at 1. I find it's safer for a number of reasons. First of all, it's safer because if it does run out of stock, well, you've only sold one of them, so it's not as harsh. If you have any issues with ordering your items too late and then it goes out of stock, again, it'll solve that issue for you. Another reason we like 1 is because the idea is that it creates some sort of scarcity. The buyer sees that, hey, there's only one of these water bottles left. I better order it now before there's no more left. So that, in theory, generates sales more. But there are some times and some reasons why you want to have a larger quantity than just 1. And we see that a lot with items that people are more likely to buy more of them. So a really good example of this is doorknobs. People want doorknobs that match throughout their house. So if you list up just 1, somebody's going to say, I'm not going to just buy 1 doorknob from this person because I need 6 of them. So if you had 6 listed, then the person might buy all 6 of them from you. So in that case, it really does generate more sales. You kind of think about this, right? Things like chairs. People might want multiple of the same chairs. Bedside tables. People want 2 of those usually. Different things like that. Bookcases. Sometimes people want 2 of them instead of just 1. So different things like that. Just kind of use your brain there and think about it when you're listing the item. But the other huge benefit, and the reason why why all beginners really should start with a quantity of 1, is because of your limits on eBay. This applies specifically for eBay. So you're starting out with lower limits usually as a new seller. So you do want to have just 1 so that you don't fill up your limits too fast. If you have a limit of 10 items and you list an item with a quantity of 5, well, then you can only list 1 more item at a quantity of 5. You only have 2 items listed in your store, and I would prefer for you to have 10 different items listed in your store rather than just 2 items with 5 quantity. So that's really why beginners should definitely do a quantity of 1. Snow, yes, I'm in Colorado. There's a lot of snow outside. It's very cold here as well. What's a good strategy to advertise our products to stand out for Black Friday and fourth quarter? Thanks. So Trace, what you can do is the only real thing that we do is when we're listing items that we know after Black Friday, after Christmas, we're going to delete, then we use a template that specifically says that this is a Black Friday or Christmas or quarter 4 sale. We don't use the word quarter 4 because that's more internally used by us sellers, and a lot of consumers don't really know or understand the term quarter 4. Sorry about the shaking. So we do, like we say, it's a Black Friday sale, a Cyber Monday sale, or a Christmas sale. And if you use a listing software like the one I use, AutoDS, that one comes with templates, and it has ones for Christmas as well. So you can use those, kind of makes your listings stand out. What I also do, what I've also seen, but I don't personally do, is that the main photo that you use for your items, you could put a border on it or a watermark on it that says Black Friday sale, something like that. Technically, that's against eBay's rules, so I've never done it, but I've seen other people do it, and I know it works for them, but it does technically violate eBay's rules. My guess is that it's one of those rules, like many of eBay's rules, which they don't actively enforce because it's not really a big deal, but just wanted to let you guys know that's technically not allowed. And the other thing to consider is that when you're selling items on Black Friday, all your suppliers are going to have sales. And once your supplier has a sale, it automatically lowers the price of your items in your store so that, can you guys see me right now? Just making sure. Let me know if you guys can see me right now. Let me know if you guys can see me. I want to make sure this is working. I'll be really mad if I just made this whole video. Let me know in chat if this is working. Thank you, since. Anyone can let me know in the chat if they can see me? Oh gosh, darn it. Okay. Sorry for the long pause there. YouTube has just updated their software, and I'm never quite sure if what I'm doing works or not. It's really frustrating. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. As soon as your items go on sale on your supplier's website, they're also going to go on sale on eBay as well. So your items are going to drop in price, and that's going to generate sales as well. Okay. So, sorry about the delay. Fat Elvis says, showering, watching YouTube, that is dedication. I have to agree with you on that. If you found a way to watch YouTube while showering, that is a lot of dedication. Okay, what software would you recommend if you're drop shipping on Amazon to monitor inventory? So, Paul B, if you're just starting out and you have a really low budget and you're just looking for something really cheap, you can use SKUGrid. It does work, but I prefer to use Web Scraper app and Informed. They work together, and that's really the one that I recommend. But for starting out, SKUGrid does work. Okay. Are you penalized for ending a listing early if it's listed until sold? No. Do you only sell on eBay, eBay, and Amazon? Is it me or your videos pixelated? Probably. Like I said, I'm not in my usual setup right here. Okay. Jack, what's up? Says, thanks again for hosting the meetup in West Palm Beach. My pleasure. I hope to do more of them around the country soon, or in 2020. Okay, let's see. If a customer returns a product they bought from you without opening a return case or letting you know to your home, how would you go about that? That's never happened to me, honestly. I'm not sure how they got your address. How did they get your address? That's what I'm curious about. I know sometimes they can call eBay and eBay will give it to you, which doesn't make any sense to me. But in this case, eBay should have told them to open up a return case. So in that case, I would refund them and then return the item myself. You can just call the supplier and get the return label and ship it back yourself. Very strange they did that though. I would not reimburse them for the shipping cost though, because they should have reached out to you beforehand. Unless it's outside of the return window, then I would not refund them. Okay. Looks like Rich is drop shipping from St. Thomas. Pretty jealous because there's like 2 feet of snow here. Okay, so let's look at some of these questions from this week. We went over that. A lot of it's going to be about that. This was interesting. One of my subscribers, Juan Rivera, said, on this topic that we were talking about, the zip codes, says, great video as usual. I called eBay when they started. Here's a short version of the conversation. I went online and saw this on my main account, that X number of your listings are missing the item location zip code. I called eBay regarding this. Rep said, just put my local zip code in. I pointed out that I ship from different locations, but I had a zip code on every item. She insisted to just put my zip code in. She put me on hold to check with someone. I switched to a smaller account and it said 16 of your listings are missing the item zip code. She got back to me on the phone and said that the zip codes need to be updated. I said if I update and then the location changes from, say, China to the US, my buyer will expect an item in 3 days instead of 3 weeks. She says it needs to be updated. I said, so you're telling me to update the zip codes to my location. I will not get crap for misrepresenting my location. I will not get banned, suspended, or anything like that. She said, no, I assure you that you will not have any problem. I told her I will do that with the 16 items on the smaller account. And that's it. So that's what this person's experience was, and that's similar to what we're hearing as well. They just want any zip code in there. And I bet this does not apply to Chinese sellers who claim they ship from America, but the package comes from China. Okay, so in the last video, I explained how if you're drop shipping from China, they don't require a zip code, only if you're drop shipping from the United States. So the Google says that if you lie and say it's coming from America, even though it's coming from China, you don't need to add a zip code, but you do. Because if you're saying it comes from America, they're still going to want a zip code. But don't lie about it. If it's coming from China, say it's coming from China. Being tight and the platforms being saturated. Okay, so James says, with margins being tight and the platforms becoming saturated, how do USA sellers compete with international sellers? The cost of living is a tad bit higher here than in most countries. Thanks. James, I would actually disagree with you on a lot of points. Specifically, what I want to address here is that I actually think it's a lot easier for us living in the United States than it is for people in other countries. I know I have a lot of subscribers, a lot of you guys live outside the United States, but this is honestly the truth. If you're living inside the United States, it's easier for you to set up an eBay or Amazon account than it would be for someone living outside the United States. And a lot of times the fees are lower for us as well. So for USA sellers, it's actually a lot easier than it is for international sellers. King Pat called eBay recently to ask for a selling limit increase and they asked King Pat to upgrade to a business account. Do I need to upgrade, or can I keep it a regular account? So I always recommend using a business account on both eBay and PayPal. It comes with some benefits, and specifically we've seen that we get higher limits with those accounts. So I do recommend you switch over to a business account. Okay, let's see what's going on in the live chat. This is a really good suggestion from Jack. So I'm typing in the zip code in St. Louis, Missouri, because that seems to be the center of the USA. So shipping times, at least for the eBay bots, would be minimal, no matter where we ship to. Thoughts? I mean, it's just as good an idea as any other I've heard for sure. Jack, I say that's not a bad idea. Okay. I got restricted due to Vero, so hard to detect Vero. So Vero is eBay's verified rights owner program. It's brands that say, hey, you're allowed to sell our products technically, but you're not allowed to use our stock images and stock description. So if you use those, they're technically copyrighted, so you can get in trouble for using copyrighted material. Now, people get worried about this, and it is a reason you can get restricted or temporarily suspended. But if you're using a reliable listing software like the one I use, AutoDS, which if you guys want to check that out, I will have that linked up. It's always in the description of this video. That is my affiliate link, just to be transparent about that. But the great thing about that is that when you go to list an item, it will let you know if it's a Vero item. So you can choose not to list it if it's Vero. And in the beginning, you definitely should not be listing Vero items, because you can easily get a new account suspended for listing Vero items. But the software will take care of it for you. Okay, what are the new suppliers that we can drop ship from? What are the new suppliers that we can drop ship from? I'm not sure what you mean by new suppliers. Okay. I can't transfer my listings from SKU Grid to AutoDS. Jacob, I'm not 100% sure why that might be happening. You can either reach out in the Facebook group for help or ask AutoDS directly. Specifically AutoDS, they will help you transfer your listings if you're having trouble, and they'll actually do it for you if you need that help. Let's see. Okay, so glad everyone could see me, so thanks for clarifying that. What day is bigger, Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Every year for us, Black Friday is always bigger. Even though people are supposed to go to real stores or like brick and mortar stores on Friday and digital stores like eBay on Cyber Monday. Okay, so many of you guys can see me, so thank you. I wasn't sure. Fairly large pixel on my screen. Okay, looks great. Thank you. Aw, Charlie. Okay. Let's see. When will you be in Nashville, Tennessee? Actually, will be in Nashville, Tennessee, or tentatively the date is in February, I believe. I will definitely let you guys know if that's definitely happening. Okay. When using AutoDS, do you use the non-API or API versions? I recommend the non-API versions. I just use my local location, no problems yet. So another vote for just using any old zip code, in this case your local location, with no problems. Okay. Okay, so let's go through some more questions I listed from this week, right up from this week. Very one of those. My mentor taught me, so this is, again, in reference to zip codes. My mentor taught me that when the item is shipped out first, I need to then revise the listing and put the zip code and place where the supplier shipped the item and then put the tracking number, LOL. So what Andy is doing here is he's listing up this water bottle and saying that the zip code is 10010, somewhere in New York City. And then when the item actually, when he orders it, let's say from Walmart, and Walmart ships it out, let's say they ship it out from Florida. Well, then he's going to go into that listing and change the zip code to the Florida zip code and then upload the tracking number. And I have thought of that. I've thought about doing that, but in theory, that would work. In practice, it just doesn't work, because what ends up happening is we might sell 4 or 5 of these in a day. And then at what point does eBay, you're assuming that eBay scans the zip code on the listing, compares it to the zip code on the tracking number, and makes sure that they line up. But first of all, we don't know that they do that. And also, at least not yet. And also, what zip code will we put? Because then the item might be shipping out from 5 different zip codes, all the different items. So it just, if you don't know when it's going to scan, it's just not practical when you're selling a larger volume. Okay. Okay, so Andy says, after watching this, I'm thinking if I'm ordering an item from, let's say, Home Depot, it will show the zip code of the customer that purchased the item. Would it be possible to order from a Home Depot that's closest to the zip code of where the customer is located? That won't work, Andy, because you can go into Home Depot and change the zip code. So you can change the store and say, hey, I want to shop in the store in Wyoming, which is the state the buyer lives in. Even if you order from there, they still might ship the item out from New York or California or New Mexico, depending on the availability, depending on which warehouse is closest to the buyer. It doesn't matter. They don't ship the items out directly from the stores, so that won't work. Okay. Next question. Oh yeah, so this is what it used to say. So just kind of go back a little bit. So last week there used to be a spot, or there still is a spot, but there's a spot on eBay where you can enter in a zip code and it will apply it to all your listings. So you don't have to go through the listings one by one. Well, last week it said if you have more than one item location, you don't need to add your zip code here. And that was really confusing language, because that kind of makes it seem like if you're doing what we're doing, then you don't need to upload a zip code at all. But that's not what I think they meant here. I think they meant in this field, don't add a zip code, because it's then going to apply that zip code to all your listings. Instead, you should go through each listing individually and add the correct zip code. But it was very confusing language, and all they've done was replace it with even more confusing language, which I showed you before, which says if you have inventory in more than one item location, you can choose the most appropriate zip code, which doesn't make any sense at all what that means. Okay, so Daniel says, great video, very informative. Do we have to give a separate zip code for each item, or just one zip code in general? What are your thoughts? So if you have a supplier that you know is always shipping out from the same zip code, or an item that is always shipping out from the same zip code, then I would use that zip code. But overall, you can just use, if that doesn't apply, which it probably won't, then just use one zip code for your entire account. Okay. Yeah, so Jacob, again, you can download all your list. You can still download from SKUGrid, and AutoDS can help you upload those to AutoDS. Are you going to do another event in Florida? Probably, yep. Have you ever experimented with no zip code? Yes, because I've done multiple locations. Okay, let's keep going here. Okay, we can answer that one. Answer that one. Okay. So Black Image says, I just got my business license and resale certificate today. I'm going through your course, but the question is that the information in your course is outdated. So is the tax exemption part still correct as far as getting tax exempt on Amazon as of November 2019? Or did all of that change? It's not out of date. It is updated. Update the course at least 2 times a year. I mean, in 2018 and 2019, I updated them like dozens of times, either just changing little bits of videos here and there, or just rehauling the courses altogether. So they are up to date. All the tax exemption stuff is up to date. And it is changing, but as it changes, I'm adding more content or revising the content. So yes, it is all up to date. Okay. Okay, thanks for this huge help, fam. If you read this and you can think of it, okay, I'll get back to that one later. Hey, Paul, how are you? I have 2 questions. One, when you list in a dropship item, do you list multiples of it? Oh, so I already answered that question. Second, if an item gets sold out or becomes discontinued while your listings are active and you have orders for it, how do you handle that? Or does your dropshipping software reveal that the item is no longer available? It's the second one. So if you listed up an item for sale and now that item isn't being sold on the supplier's website anymore, it will be listed as out of stock on your eBay store by your software. And it takes care of that for you. It can see that and list it as out of stock. Do me a favor, guys, if I've answered one of your questions, if you're getting some value out of this, I would appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up, if you smash the like button down below. That lets me know that you guys are enjoying the content so far. And thanks for everyone who does it. Okay, very interesting, says Fresh Pie Vintage. Just to clarify, all of our fees, I guess like eBay and PayPal fees, all of our fees, including these, are tax deductible, correct? I mean, yes. I mean, so it's a cost of doing business. The fees, the eBay fees, the PayPal fees, those are all cost of doing business. So let's say you take in we'll just use some round numbers, $10,000. And then let's say that you have expenses that equal $3,000. Those include fees, different cost of goods, different things like that. That leaves you with $7,000. That's your profit. You're not going to be taxed on the full $10,000. You're only going to be taxed on the $7,000. And in a nutshell, that's how it works. I mean, I'm not a tax expert, but that part's the basics of how it works. In Tennessee, I don't even have to apply for a business license until I make over, I don't know why I highlighted that because I don't know anything about that, about Tennessee's. Okay. Okay, Hello Paul says, N2 Light Media Productions. Great video. You have me interested in hiring a virtual assistant. Awesome! Virtual assistants really change your business. If I hire them, do I have to start filling W-2s, benefits, taxes, and all those kinds of forms with the government for having an employee in my business? That's a good question. This was something I was really afraid of too when I started, like all this extra paperwork and stuff. The short answer is no, you don't if you are hiring independent contractors who live outside the United States. Now, I don't know all the rules about when you need W-2, when it needs to be an employee, and all these different employee benefits and payroll and things like that. I don't know too much about that, but I do know that if you're hiring these virtual assistants and they live in other countries like the Philippines or India, they're independent contractors. They are not U.S. citizens. They do not live in the United States. So a lot of those extra paperwork and logistics and payroll are things you just don't have to worry about. And if you have an accountant, you could tell them that these were contractors that you had hired to help you with your business. And again, that will come off the top. That won't be included as profit if you do it correctly. Okay, Cassie says, hey, Paul, I'm really interested in starting eBay dropshipping. Do I need to contact Walmart to sign some sort of agreement or contract before dropshipping their items onto eBay? Cassie, no, you don't. You can just sign up for an account and start using that account. I would recommend that you become tax exempt with them, which is there is paperwork you have to fill out for that. So it's kind of like what you're talking about, but not exactly. So just fill out that paperwork, become tax exempt, and that's the only real thing you have to fill out with them besides setting up an account. Okay. Okay, if you lose your top-rated seller status as a dropshipper, it really doesn't matter. We haven't seen any real negative implications from that. Okay. No, we don't know what's going to happen with accounts if there's no item locations. Oh, if you don't update the item specifics. Oh, if you don't update the item specifics, so on new listings, they won't let you list the items. If you don't update the item specifics, then technically the items, they're supposed to, so normally items renew every 30 days. It's called good till cancel. They'll keep renewing until you cancel it. But if you don't have the right item item specifics, then those items will not, they're not supposed to renew. So that's what eBay has said. I've updated all mine, so. Can you explain how non-API AutoDS works when items go out of stock? Sure. So AutoDS, the non-API version, it is talking to your suppliers' websites like Walmart, Banggood, AliExpress, Home Depot, whatever you're using. It's looking at those websites. It's seeing, hey, are the prices changing? Is the stock changing? If it does, it pulls that into its system. And then it creates a spreadsheet for your account. And the spreadsheet will say, okay, this is the item on eBay, and we want to change the stock to 0 now for that item. Or if the item comes back into stock, here's the item on eBay, and we want to change the quantity to 1 for that, back up to 1. Or if the price changes, it gives the item number for that item on your eBay account, and it gives the price change. And it puts all that into a file. And then it uploads that file to eBay for you. And it does that through a Chrome extension. I don't understand how it works, but it does work. Once it sends it to the Chrome extension, it then updates or sends into your eBay file exchange. And the file exchange is just a system on eBay that you upload these files to, which again, AutoDS is just created for you. And the file exchange can then read that spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet. And it can look at row 1, and it says, okay, on row 1, you have item ID 1234. And next to it, it says what you want to do. Oh, you want to change the quantity. Oh, you want to change the quantity to 0. And it does that for you. And then the next row, it says, okay, this is the item number. It finds item 2222. And it says, okay, what do you want to do with item 2222? Oh, you want to change the quantity. You want to change the quantity for this one to 1. And it does that for you. And then again, for the price, the same thing. I think you get the picture there. So that's how it works. If that was a little bit confusing, just know that it does work as long as you have the Chrome extension added and you're logged into eBay as well. Okay, so O Castell Group LLC says, I recently bought your dropshipping course. You have really awesome information there. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I got the AutoDS before buying your course and got the API instead of the non-API version. So you can switch from an API to a non-API on AutoDS. You got to contact them and they'll help you through it. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to download all of your listings into a spreadsheet, and then you can close that one, open up a non-API store. You actually don't even have to close it. You just open up a non-API store and they'll show you how to do that. And then you can connect that non-API store to your eBay store and then upload the file, which will then sync everything up. Sounds like a lot of steps, but it's really not that bad, and they can show you how to do it. Okay. I have over 100 SKUs on Amazon. What is the best way to transfer them over to eBay? So I'm not 100% sure, like, do you have items that you're selling on Amazon or items that you want to sell from Amazon? And that's how you want to do it. As long as you have the the URL, you're fine. You can take 100 URLs and upload them AutoDS with a bulk upload, and that would work if you want to do that. I don't personally like that because you should at least change the title. So you can also bulk upload with titles. So again, that just requires the URL and the title, and you can bulk upload that way, and it will change the title too. Okay. Is a CPA tax deductible? Yeah, technically it is. Yes. So each time you purchase an item from the supplier, are you writing that off as product as expense? Yeah, it's called cost of goods sold. So a VA is just considered a business expense. As far as I know, yes. There's a lot of tax questions, guys. And again, I'm not a tax expert. I'm not a CPA, but this is what I do. I'm just going to tell you what I do for my business. I'm fairly certain it's correct, but I would check with someone else. So I want to get in trouble for giving you guys wrong advice. Okay. Black letter made better. Oh, this is Seth Greenhill, using my other alias. I'm sure you get this one. Black letter made better. Seth, I'm struggling with this one, man. Black letter made better. I mean, it rhymes. I don't know, man. I'm blanking on this one. I'm not getting it. Send me a message on Facebook and explain it to me, because maybe I'm just in a dropshipping. Black letter made better. I don't know. I'm not getting it. Okay. So best solution, best software for VA customer service. So this one's a little bit tricky. I haven't really found a great one these days. You can use, what's it called? InkFrog. Because with InkFrog, you can send messages to customers. And that is an API software, but eBay endorses it. They like it. If you use it just for that purpose, it should be fine. There are some better ones I found, like Reply Manager, but it is way too expensive. I used to love it. We used to use it because it was like $60 a month, which was still a lot. But we used to use it. It's specifically for answering customer questions, and you do like you could assign tickets to your virtual assistants. But man, they just raised the price even further. It's over $100 a month now. It's crazy. So yeah, that went out. People are getting banned because of price automation. That's why we use the non-API version. If you use the non-API version, it doesn't use API, it uses the file exchange, so you don't run into that issue. Okay, so Mauricio Medina, Mauricio, sorry. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Medina says, customer got a receipt on her item. So the item shipped from Lowe's, and inside the box was the receipt with his name on it, and he wants the price difference than what you paid on eBay. How would you go about that? So this is one of the problems with Lowe's, is they do include the price in the box, which one of the things that stinks about them. So generally, when we're drop shipping from other suppliers, they don't include the price. And we have very few customers who complain that the item came from another supplier. So Lowe's is kind of the exception to that, because we get more of them because the price is included. So what do you do in this case? Well, there's a few options. One, if it's not a huge price difference, you can just let the customer be happy and refund them the difference. If it is a more expensive item, a big price difference, you might want to tell the buyer, if you're unhappy with the price, you have to return the item before we can refund you. And in this case, it would be a case of buyer's remorse. So depending on your return settings, they might have to pay to ship the item back. And make sure you're getting everything in the messages so it's really clear that the reason the buyer wants to return it is because of buyer's remorse. Those are usually the two avenues that we go. We usually tell the buyer, if you want to refund a difference, you have to return the item to us. They had ample time to shop around for the price and they didn't. They're paying for the convenience of shopping on eBay. as opposed to having to shop on Lowe's, tell them to go shop on Lowe's. It's not an easy site to shop on. They have a really terrible user interface. I don't even know if that's the right word. I just threw that word out there like I know what it means. They have a really terrible website, very difficult to navigate, very difficult to use. So good luck to them if they want to shop on Lowe's. Okay. Okay, so I keep getting out of stock. So AutoDS keeps putting my items out of stock. So AutoDS will put items out of stock for multiple different reasons. One reason is if the item is out of stock on your supplier's website. They'll also put it out of stock if the shipping time is too long. So if the item would take too long to get to the customer. And what's too long? Well, you determine that. You could set that up in your AutoDS settings. So it looks like Bobby is having issues where it keeps labeling them as being out of stock for shipping times when they're really not that long, the shipping times. So Bobby, you would just increase that time in your settings, and that should alleviate the problem. The Georgia Picker says, this Q4 is all crazy but good. Yeah, wait till tomorrow night, going into Friday through Cyber Monday. Crazy is definitely a good word to describe it. When did you make the jump from working for someone else and working for yourself to just working for yourself? How long did it take you? It did take me a long time. I'm a very cautious person. I really want to make sure things are stable and working before I make a big move like that. I was not only giving up a job, but maybe, it could be argued I was giving up a career. I was an attorney and stopped doing that to do reselling, dropshipping full time. And yeah, a big change. And I moved even out of the state where I'm licensed to Florida, where I'm not licensed as an attorney. So it was a big move, took a lot of guts. I was ready to do it and then not ready to do it and then ready to do it and then not ready to do it. Basically, I had eBay going well and I had Amazon going well. I kind of waited till I had both streams of income before I made that jump. It's a really hard decision. I'm not going to tell anyone out there to quit your job. I'm not going to tell anyone you can quit your job in 6 months. It's a tough road. And it's scary. But it also depends on the job you have. If you have a dead-end job that's paying minimum wage that you can just kind of, I guess you could say, like easily get again, that doesn't require you to go to school for. I think like my buddy Steve Rakin was working at the Cracker Barrel. It's a great story that he told about how he quit it. But other people have careers that they might want to give up. So it's really personal choice. A lot of personal factors go into that. But I would never tell anyone that they should quit their job. It's really up to you and where you are in life and how comfortable you are with risk, how old you are, how young you are, different things like that, where you are in your career, if you like the place you live, different things like that. Get your reference. Oh, that's right. Seth is an attorney. Okay, Seth, I'm going to revisit this. What was it? Black letter made bear. Okay. I'm starting to get it now. I forgot that Seth is an attorney too. Okay. Okay. Bold title items, generally not. No. Okay, April says, thank you, Paul, for always keeping us up to date on eBay policy changes, how to deal with them. Save us a lot of time and problems. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. Oh, Andy. Wow, the big words here. API stands for Application Program Interface. I never knew that. Application Program Interface. Okay. I had a customer that took her item to Walmart and exchanged it for a larger one and didn't ask for a return. Yep. That happens sometimes. You used it correctly. User interface is the overall enjoyable appearance of the site. eBay and Lowe's have ugly user interfaces. Amazon and Home Depot have good ones. I agree with you, man. eBay's UI, look at that, even using the abbreviations, UI really stinks. They have like an ancient website. It just feels like they just like hobbled it together over the years and old. Feels old to me. Lowe's is just terrible. So Bob, you're not going to increase your shipping time on eBay. You're only going to increase your shipping time on AutoDS. So okay, can I still get the free trial I won last year? This is Dusty. Yeah, just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. We'll get you hooked up. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so more questions from the week. Where we leave off. Okay, we did that one. This is Brian saying, hey, Paul, lately for bulkier or bigger items with Walmart, when it comes to returns, Walmart does not offer free shipping labels. They will only offer to set up a delivery pickup time directly with the client with Pilot. What is the best way to deal with that? Or would you just advertise avoiding large, bulky items altogether from Walmart at this point? So it is a pain. So normally Walmart will give you a shipping label. And I prefer that because then we just give the shipping label to the buyer and they're then responsible for putting it on the box and dropping it off at UPS or FedEx. And that way it's all documented in eBay. Walmart and Home Depot both do this, where with some items, bulkier items, items that have certain lithium batteries in them, UPS won't deal with them, FedEx won't deal with them. So you need a freight company like Pilot to pick it up. You're just going to send the customer a message telling them the same thing that Walmart told you, that this item's too big for UPS, so we're going to have a local company pick it up called Pilot, and I'm going to arrange the pickup for you. So when you give Walmart the information, I would use your own phone number because Pilot will then call you. You can, before Pilot calls you though, you want to get in contact with the buyer on eBay and find some times that work for them for the pickup, and then give those to Pilot, so then Pilot can then pick up the item while the customer is there, while the customer has the package in a place where it's convenient for Pilot to pick it up. As soon as Pilot picks it up, we usually refund the buyer right away. And that's pretty much it. And then Walmart will refund us. The machine says you should think about not offering free shipping. Many states do not require sales tax to be collected on the shipping charge. So by not having free shipping, you are actually saving your customer money and might be cheaper than your competitors. Yeah, maybe. I still think buyers prefer to have no shipping. The number one reason why people abandon carts, that is, they put something in their cart and don't buy it, is because of unexpected charges. So those unexpected charges could be taxes, unfortunately, more and more, sales tax, but even bigger one would probably be shipping charges. So I still prefer the free shipping, I think. When am I coming back to Florida? Not soon enough. Hey, what's up, Brian? How's it going? We always ship our items for free. If Apple is Vero, is it okay if you delete all items that use Apple in the description? You could. I would just delete Apple products though. Okay. Okay, cool. So those are all the questions I see in the live chat and all the questions that I saved up from this week. So hope you guys got some value today out of this live Q&A. If you did, make sure to smash the like button down below. That lets me know that you guys like these videos, and I'll keep coming back week after week to answer your questions. And make sure to ask any questions you have about dropshipping in the comment section of any of my videos, and I'll throw them up on the screen next week and answer them during next week's live Q&A. Today is Wednesday, November 27th. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so everyone have a really beautiful, amazing Thanksgiving with your family, hopefully, and really enjoy your day and get ready for Black Friday. I hope you guys make a lot of money on Black Friday through Cyber Monday, and I can't wait to come back next week to serve you guys and to answer any questions that you have. So if you do want to make sure you don't miss the next live Q&A, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below and hit that little bell so that will notify you on your phone, hopefully, or just notify you the next time that I go live so that you can join us, engage, ask any questions that you have, and I'll see you guys during the next live Q&A. And for those of you watching on the replay, I have another video right here that you might really enjoy, so make sure to check out that one.